First of all, we are in the business for the past 32 years. The headquarters is in Hong Kong, but we have several regional offices throughout the globe. The Middle East, actually, we have quite a nice expansion in the Middle East this year, as we are going to open 7 hotels before the end of the year. That will give us a plus minus an additional 3,500 keys for the Middle East. We are opening 2 hotels in Kuwait, 2 hotels in Bahrain, 1 in Muscat, 1 in Doha, and 1 in Mecca before the end of this year. So the expansion is important, and we are also obviously moving outside the GCC as we have various projects, but still under construction in Tanzania, Georgia, Iraq, Egypt, etc., etc. So we should have, I will say, for the Middle East and my region, should I say in Africa, we should have approximately 25 hotels within 2023. Well, if we are looking at the Middle East globally, it's very different than the Dubai, or each region have its own specific. You have seen in the Middle East particularly that the numbers of keys have drastically increased from year on year, and therefore you still have a very, very decent occupancy, but you see more pressure on the average rate. And that's very true on some market which has been, quite mature, should I say. Dubai, Muscat, let's say Oman in general over there, Bahrain, because the keys are increasing, but they have been in the business for some time. Countries which are a little bit more corporate than leisure, such as, for example, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, you still have that pressure, but maybe a different one, because most of these markets are actually starting to open also for other business than their traditional ones. The Middle East is a rising giant. It's not yet a mature market. Middle East still have an enormous potential of growth in order to fit the Middle East needs when it comes to turnkeys. If you take, for example, the GCC represents almost half of the numbers of keys in the entire Middle East. That's quite enormous, out of which actually Dubai is taking over 30% of all the keys. So you still have rooms to grow because the market is growing. And again, this is true for the Middle East, but if you go to Africa, it's the potential and the needs of growth of that continent is absolutely impressive, simply because in Africa, by 2030, the mid-market is going to represent the mid-class market, is going to represent pretty much 30% of the entire mid-market worldwide by 2030. So the growth is necessary. The potential is there, and obviously Swiss-Bel will be there too.